All right. Let me do my October goals wrap up for October 2024. I thought this was a really failure of the month, but then I went back and I reviewed my journal, and I actually realized that, well, yeah, I definitely hit some dead ends during the month. There was actually a lot of positive things. One of them being I recognized I did hit a dead end. So that is good. So yes, this is review. I've started off by picking up my journal and just taking a read through it. I have a couple of things, actually more than a couple of things this time, that kind of events that happened that I thought I'd just note down here. They might come up in the main body. They might come up at the very end. But yes, let's go through it. First, number one, time with Ja, weekend activity with Ja, chat at breakfast, stuff like that. She has now started her new schedule. Actually, that happened at the very end of the month, but we're just getting onto that, and definitely supporting her in that. We did some stuff with Kim and Monique during the month. I went to the Neon Ranch, did the zombie walk, which was all really fun. We had dinner out with a group of people after the zombie walk, so it was definitely it was a good month for just sort of having little bits of socializing with Ja. I think we need to figure out stuff that we also just sort of do on our own. Unfortunately, a spa thing with the both of us did not happen. Just life intervened that way. So that was, yeah. Number two is walking daily with the dogs and Jackie. Sunday and Mondays off. We've had a bit of an interruption just in the last couple of days because we've had some really heavy rains in the morning. So not that much of gluttons for punishment. The dogs are fairly absorbent, but yeah, mostly it's been really good. It's really good to have Jackie as like, oh, there's an outside person that I need to get up, need to get going for a walk, need to work on getting up there right on time. We're changing the time to 8:45 since Ja is sort of going into her office about that time for work, so that works. Number three is early to bed, kind of around 12:30. Early to rise, 7:15, 7:30. That's what I'm aiming for, especially when it comes to my month coming up, because the month coming up will be a little bit busier on that. Mindful calorie intake. Still struggling with the whole snack at night. I still end up loading up my plate, and I need to think about that, because it's like it should be as simple as saying don't, or just like go to bed with a glass of milk and just leave it that. But yeah, I need to think about that. Um, and yeah, my dinners on the weekend can be kind of heavy too, so that's the other thing to think about. Number five is my phone and earbud hygiene. Continuing with the B mark for earbuds, which, yeah, continuing along with that, leaving the phone and the earbuds in here. Number six is getting to work on time, out of the house at 2:25, biking away at 2:30. It's never happened. It's always like 2:35, 2:40. Um, yeah, that's something I should think about that, because it's being respectful to my coworkers, if not just myself, of my professional self. Number seven is continuing to adjust to the new normal at work, adjusting to new workers and new challenges. There's one particular staff member who I am definitely finding a challenge. They are casual, which is good, but I do need to comport myself professionally. Not 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 do that. Not make it a toxic environment for both him and for the rest of us. So yes, number eight is doing my daily physio and back core exercises. It's funny, it says daily physio exercises. It should say daily physio exercises and core strength exercises, which is what I get from Stephanie, which have been really helpful. And one of the big successes of this month, October, was I fell. I fell heavily in the middle of the night. I slipped on something that had fallen on the floor, and I whammed myself like right on my hip onto the floor, and I got a bruise on my hip, and that definitely was sore. But I did not twinge my back over that, which is amazing. Maybe it was a lucky hit, but I firmly believe that all these strengthening exercises that I've done actually did give me a measure of resilience, strengthen me, make me less fragile of a system for my back. So it's littlest thing can do that. I am getting a bunch of messages from purportedly Amazon, so we'll see what that is all about. Um, my daily to-do check-in. I have not been doing that. I'm starting again today. I didn't do it yesterday, but I'm started again today of just trying to like, okay, have a to-do list. It really makes a psychological difference to getting things done, getting this done on the 2nd versus waiting until the 10th or the 15th to get my check-in for October done. Um, Number 10, my public video channel. The goal was 2 videos. I don't think I did any videos last month. I did do some reviews, but I just chose not to release them on the public channel. I'm not too stressed by it. I will continue to make, obviously, I'm continuing to make videos on this channel. I'm going to try and just do some casual reviews. Legends and Lattes that I just read it was a really nice, fun pick-me-up book. I've had some real struggles this in October. Crow's Road by Ian Banks. I know it's like quite well written, and there's parts of it that remind me of Terry Pratchett, but there's also just something I'm resistant about. I should read reviews and think about that, whether I do want to pick it up again. I've pointedly now avoided it with Legends and Lattes, and now I've picked up Tansy Rayner's book that I've owned forever and ever that happened to be on my Kindle, and read that instead of going back to Crow's Road. So there's some major resistance there. My other reading, 12, is writing my other reading, which is the Reading Goals 1901 project. I struggled through reading out Rudyard Kipling's Life's Handicap, which is a lot of fiction based in colonial British India. And I put it that way because it's not India, it's colonial British India, written by someone who's very much colonialization is a really great thing, and I really struggled through that book. That was really a book contrary to my own beliefs, and maybe it's the thing of it being short story. It's like you got hammered with that in every short story that had to reestablish that. And yeah, I finished it, but I'm like, I was planning on reading a lot of Kipling. I think I might just read the high points of Kipling and leave a lot of his short stories, some of his collections behind. I'll do the Jungle Book, the Just So Stories, I think, and maybe Kim as like his major ones. And maybe I'll just leave it at that, because like if I'm that about Kipling, it's like there's no point in me torturing myself as much as people might think I torture myself. Number 12 is probably the scene of the biggest failure, but also the biggest success of my month, which is writing projects, which is I abandoned the MD project, the Mindy Deluxe authorship project. Yeah, that was putting me in a bad space, and luckily it was a troll who came to the rescue, who just poked me at just the right moment and went, "Oh yeah, I was already considering what I was going to do about this, and it's like I can just walk away and just do my own stuff and not have to worry about this." And so that's what I did. So I set aside the MD project, and I've gone back to one of my NaNoWriMo one of my NaNoWriMo projects, and in a month where I'm pointedly not doing NaNoWriMo anymore because of all the nonsense that happened over at the National Novel Writing Month organization, I'm just doing writing in November, and I'm going to work on that. I'm going to do a second draft of that story. So yeah. So but I think having the journal to be able to write in and to think about it was really good for me of processing it and not just letting it lie and linger and fester in me. It's like, I'm feeling crappy. Why am I feeling crappy? And then going, oh, I'm feeling crappy because of this. I'm being duplicitous. I'm being someone I don't want to be. I do want to be, but I don't want to be. And then doing stuff that I don't want to. in that, and then having somebody who is trying to take control basically and suborn me, it was like all like, oh, okay, yeah, I can just step away from this. It's not me, and I can be happily perverted and write erotic stuff without that. So that was really good. That was really good for me. That yeah, yeah, yeah. I was grateful about that. So it was a failure, but it was like fairly quickly for my time scale, fairly quickly recognizing that and readjusting. So I really that it kind of reframed what I thought. It's like, oh, I fucked up, to, oh, I realized I fucked up and I changed. And now I'm writing something that I'm happy to be writing, which is, also fucked up and perverted, and but it's more honest that way. Number 13, daily journal keeping, which I guess I just extolled the how good that was, and how useful it is to go back and read all that stuff before I do these videos. Number 14 is reading on the weekend, which yeah, once I got into Legends and Lattes was a lot easier and a lot more. It's like, okay, I'm going to just do some pleasure reading, and just like kind of like embracing that. And whatever is pleasure, sometimes pleasure reading can be very demanding, but other times pleasure reading can be, like Legends and Lattes, very undemanding, and that was good. Number 15 was Signed Every Day with Linkvano, which I've continued with, and I'm going to continue with it. I don't know how much I'm retaining, but I'm going to continue with it at the moment. I something to definitely revisit each month. It's like, is this worth it? I am paying for it. Yeah, yeah. Number 16 is outside garden tasks with Jackie. That's mowing, bamboo chopping, which I did not get the bamboo chopping done this month. It started pissing down with rain. I have been raking up leaves and stuff like that, just consistently under the fig tree, which is, yeah, it's something. I'm consistently doing it, and we're moving a lot of all those leaves are coming off that tree, and I'm consistently just getting them into the bin, which is good. Number 17 is vocal improvement. Did not do any no videos of this month. I've been trying to kind of like maybe wrap it into doing a prep video for book reviews. That would be a really good thing, and I should pursue that in November. Do a anxiety video check-in. I did one, and it was really valuable for October. That came at a good time where I just like, oh, I need to talk about this as well on camera. So I did. I've been doing my vocal exercises daily, and I did do a vocal exercise video of showing me do my foolish things. Um, yeah, yeah. I think still doing the physio exercises is good, even though it's very much I'm switched much more to the Stephanie Black exercises as like my emphasis, but I still am doing the physio ones. I think the physio ones are good for alignment, and yeah, definitely strength for ones from Stephanie. Did I think I can't remember if I did actually do a themes video check-in. I think I did. And it happened before some of the big changes that happened in the month. Number 19 is a house tidy or clean. I don't know if none of that particularly got done this month. It's a constant struggle of keeping everything clean. Going to try and help Ja find a space. Number 20 is supporting and checking in with Ja, continuing challenges, making a good place at home to work, making lunches on time, which I definitely have been doing. Yeah, yeah, definitely being there for Ja. She's kind of adjusting to this whole, it's all work at home, and she's finding that difficult. I won't go into that further, but she kind of went into the job thinking she'd at least get one day a week, and then it was like, oh, 2 days a month, and then suddenly it's just like nothing, which is tough. It kind of makes it a bit kind of shut in for her, which, yeah, yeah. I've got a thing here on the MDA lessons and how to continue with that feeling, which I have not done, but it is going to be coming up in December, so that's something I will schedule for November to look at and to ponder. So I've got at least a little bit of work done before we do our next MDMA experience. Um, yeah. Oh, 22. Okay, I did have the bike down because the big thing that happened was finally I'd had my bike died, and that must have happened before the beginning of October. So it took a while, but thankfully, with actually kind of sticking up for myself and continually calling the store, not rudely but firmly, checking up, saying like, "Hey, I'm interested. What's happening?" Okay, being understanding, being grateful. They did a really good job. I ended up with a what's basically functionally a new bike for $450, um, which I'm happy with. It's like, someone might say, "Oh, it was warranty. I shouldn't have paid a dime." It's like I'd had the bike for a couple of years, used it hard. Um, the bike store itself seems to have done kind of the major lifting there to make sure that I got a new bike. So that was good. That was good. I'm pleased with my new bike. I've since August the 20th was when I started back. So it took a long time. I'm back into biking every single day, and that is just such a relief and feels so very good. Um, Anything else that I can say? Yeah. So I talked about the fall. I talked about my bike, the MD Zombie Walk. I voted in the provincial elections, and it looks like, you know, my guys got in, and those guys didn't get in. And you can insert whichever side you want on that. I'm not going to go into all that. Oh, I had a big automotive challenge where one of the terminals for my battery, the things that hook onto the battery, the the positive corroded and snapped off on Thanksgiving weekend, which was really fucking challenging. But I was able to get a ride from Kim, took me up to Canadian Tire, bought a replacement, stripped the wires, attached it, hooked it back up to the car, and fixed it. So that was really great. Super A plus for Jay. The main thing on that is this month is to get the car in for proper maintenance. But yeah, that was like, okay, I can. That was a boost to myself of like, I'm not that handy. Like, I'm not gonna become an automotive expert or anything, but a simple thing like that, I can actually handle and not overwhelm me. I am a capable person. The other pleasure was I reread that NaNoWriMo manuscript, saying like, okay, which one of these am I going to do? And I kind of settled on one, and I read it all. I read all, The Strange Case of Marvin and Mia, and it's like, oh, I kind of like this. I want to do an entire another draft of it, but there's that pleasure of reading something far enough out that you kind of it's not quite you, and I mean I can see all the many flaws, but also I kind of enjoy this. So that was a real pleasure for the month. All right, that is my October goals wrap up. Um, Actually, a strangely good month for me. Positive, net positive month for me. So that is really awesome. I'm gonna go have a nap, and then I'm gonna go make lunch for Ja. More videos later.